All right, how you guys doing? This is your boy Six Sense. I finally got on this bad boy, so let's just jump to it. This is DFS, baby. This is how we get down, right? So I finally got my IT life together. So we're just gonna switch it up from Twitter. So all of you guys who's just been faithful enough to just deal with my IT issues and everything, I love you guys so much. Thank you for all the kind words and encouragement. So this is the first episode. So what we're gonna do because Line Star, just such a great app. I've been on there for about 5, 6 years or so, or whatever. Just it just consolidates all the data for me. Just everything is just right there. So I'm just gonna go through all of the players for today. This is am I right? Today is week 13, right, of the slate, main slate. So we're gonna go down just all the projections from Line Star in terms of we're gonna go by pricing, right? So we're just gonna go from high to low, and we're just gonna take it from there and see how everything goes, right? So let's take the first one. All right, Dalvin, right? So Lion Star has a projection at you know 24 points, 90. So I am a DraftKings guy. I do play FanDuel, but DraftKings is my deal. So any pricing that I'm using, just picture or imagine default DraftKings, right? And I'm gonna go in between DraftKings and FanDuel, just to explain valuations and how I do things. I am very disciplined and vanilla, as some people mention. I don't know what that means, but it's always good to stay disciplined, right? Between your 25% cash and 75%. No, hold on. 25% GBP and 75% cash, right? Because the whole point is bankroll building, right? You're trying to build your bankroll. So I'll put that to the side. Little nugget. All right, let's do Dalvin, right? He is sitting at 9,500 on DraftKings. Um, I don't want to go in between the apps because it's terribly difficult. So if you have FanDuel, just imagine your pricing times three, right? That's the simplified version, right? So 9,500 for Dalvin. Let's see what's his price range. Um, times five. Right. So for me to hit any double ups, right? For me to hit any cash lines generally, which is around 160 ish, in that range, he's gonna need 30, right? 30.4. Um that's extraordinarily high. Ideally you want to take 25, you take 25, right? But it's still below his optimal value, right? So to cook or not to cook, right? I had this same issue with McCaffrey. You guys online start killing me, man. Like I hate this conversation, but CMC has proven his worth, right? I just hate talking about this guy because and apparently Cook he's approaching that same level, right? So I would wager on the side of dealing with this matchup this week because it's a great matchup. But here's the thing, if he gets hurt or he dips below value, if he gets 20, you're still shot in the foot, right? Like so, if you're just it depends on your strategies too, right? If you're just a GPP guy and or lady, right, and and your goal is just you just a one hitter quitter, right? You just hey, let me put my 25 cents in and let me get 5 million. Odds are it doesn't really work that way, right? Like if you're really interested in this DFS game, like it's really you're playing the long game. Obviously, there's exceptions to the rules where you can put in $1, and I've seen many of my good friends hit off of dollars, $10, and that's all well and good, right? But if you're trying to build your bankroll, odds are, if your aim is to just boom get that one hit, it's a tough sell, right? So I sell gradual building. I sell discipline, right? Because I play damn near every sport, right? So so my sports, my strongest suits are football, basketball, um, MLB, and there's a fourth one in hockey, right? So I play those four sports just to keep my mind going, right? My degenerate head. But generally, let's go to Cook, right? So he's 9,500, needs 30. I have some of my friends who encourage this play. I do too. He's on my cash bubble. Definitely a GPP play with Madison out. That gave me a stronger push. Because when you don't have a legit Madison is a legit backup, right? With speed, he gives like an offset. But Cook, he is speed and power put together, right? And when you have Madison out, boom, good to go. I co-sign on it. I have Cook at 50% exposure this week. I took him away from 75 to 50 just because I just like how other values look in my line. The whole purpose is, guys, I'm here for those guys who just need that one line, right? So, you guys, if you're playing multiple lines, then, you can cook and not to cook, right? So, but ideally, if you were just playing one line and you just have that one last $10 in your pocket and you're spending it on one line, um, would I use Cook? No, because I like Robinson and Chubb, right? To be honest, right? If I was filling in my two RB slots, and if you wanted to add that third flex, and put in Cook, I mean, I am not against it, but you guys get my point. I like him. Generally, I like him this week against Jacksonville defense. Man, yeah, and they're 20th versus RB1s, and I've seen how Nick Chubb ran all over them last week. So and that's what's putting me on the Nick Chubb. But anyway, let's skip to Henry. To Henry or not to Henry, I like him here versus Cleveland. I had him here initially. Yeah, I had him here initially, 100%. I am 50% just because same thing, price. I'm all about price range, right? So I like to have guys that can definitely hit that price range, right? Because you want optimal value and you want icing on the cake, right? Because that icing on the cake is that GPP range, right? Because you want enough meat on your bones, right? Because so my projections go around 160, 170, right? So you're assuming that each play is going to add up to your your um your total line, right? Your aggregate line, you want to hit 160, 170 on DraftKings, right? So that's what I'm playing. And those micro projections, right? So Henry, he needs at 92. It's same like Cook, right? So he needs 25, 27, I think, right? If you get 25, you're still good. If you get 23, it's still good. I mean, you could take down, with 23 at 9.2, at 900, you can. Against the Cleveland defense, uh, that's 27th versus RB1. Yeah. I'm looking at all the last five RB1s versus Cleveland. You have Robinson, he had 29. Sanders, he shitted the bed. Duke, no bueno for me. Josh Jacobs, he ended up with 15 fantasy points. He's always done mediocre in that range. Gio Bernard, he's been filling in for Mixon, and he had 20 versus this defense. The Browns defense, they have been living off of Mother Nature, right? With all the hurricanes and storms that's been, coming in, that's been helping the Browns, right? Not this week, right? And the way how they've been utilizing Derrick Henry, so the strategy from Vrabel, right? Like he holds Henry early, and I noticed he did that last year as well. And it's been confirmed by a lot of the broadcasters, right? They've said that when they've spoken, just in terms of game planning and how they're managing his workload, hold him off in the beginning, and around week 11, week 12, release the hounds, right? Right. So they release him. So I think this is around the same thing. And I looked at the data from last year, follows that same range. From week, I mean, you could even look from week 12 on. Henry, he had, man, in week 12 last year, he was operating at 6'9 DK. So at 6'9, I mean, you're living here. He had 32, 27, and 26 in those 3 weeks between 12 and 14. Week 15, he kind of shitted the bed. versus Houston, but that's fine. But it's following the same premise, right? And I agree. I mean, considering last week he just waxed Indy, right? For, I mean, 41 points, 3 TDs, 27 carries. The week before against the Ravens defense, and they're tough, right? Toughest boys, 28 carries. So he's a bell cow. For me, I made a line with Henry and Cooks because I absolutely did not want to play cute with Robinson and Chubb, which is, I have those two as my combo cash lines, but I also wanted, I wanted Henry and Cooks just to see because I'm curious. So, I put a little 10, $20 in there just because I want to see how that line runs and I just want to see how they do. So, just fast forwarding because I don't want to take all day of your time because I can ramble on about this shit. I just love this shit, right? So, Devontae to Adams or not to Adams at 9K. I haven't been playing him for the last 2 weeks. Um, excuse me. Only time I really remembered playing him was on one of these showdowns that I had him. I am not playing him just because Rogers just has so many, weapons at his disposal, right? And he uses Adams a lot. I mean, he's averaging 10 targets. And I am not disputing that at all, right? I don't want you guys to hit me up like, oh, he's getting a ton of targets. Yes, he's getting usage. And I'm not opposed to that, right? Just my thing is, he's at 9K. So weekly, you're looking at I don't want to do the specific math, but you're generally looking at a ballpark of 27, right? He needs 27 for value, full value. I just don't see that, right? I just don't see that at all, right? I can see him hitting his points. I mean, if you look at Chicago last week, I mean, it's the Bears defense. He had 18. The week before, he had 26. Valid. The week before against Jacksonville, right? Great matchup. He had 19 at 9K. So that wasn't worth it, right? So, I mean, you're banking on, I mean, the last 5 weeks, he's hit value three. I give him 4 out of those 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 4 out of those 6 weeks. Let's do the 6 weeks. I just don't like taking these chances, right? I like taking chances on people like the second option, right? Who is what's that boy's name? I'm so my memory is so shot because I smoke a lot. Um, whoever's the number 2 of this guy, Lizard Man, right? I've got Lizard Man just because I just like his fit in my line construction. It's all about line construction, right? Because I mean, you have so many possibilities, right, to hit a cash line, right? If you just think about it, there's just so many. If you're doing double ups, if you're doing GPPs, you're at 33% on GPPs, right? Cash, you need 50%, right? Obviously. Um, Lizard Man, Lazard, Allen against Roby Coleman. That's why I have him. He's at 5K, and I just flopped him in there. If you guys want Adams, hey, have at it. Definitely GPP. Let's go to the next one. Metcalf, my boy Metcalf versus Bradbury. Um, listen, I like him. You know, at least he's at 8-2, so I like the price for what this kid, this freak of nature, can do. Right, so I am absolutely convinced. You guys really don't have to convince me, right? Just based off what this boy did to Gilmore, right, back in that day and time when he just threw him like a rag doll, right? In week 2. Once I saw that, I was like, okay, if he can throw Happy Gilmore around like a rag doll, I was just like, okay, this guy's a beast, right? So he's just gonna get it popping. I was kind of surprised as to what that boy from the Rams did. Shut him down completely, right? What's that boy's name? That kid, Jalen Ramsey. I mean, he just did an amazing bang job. Just kept them to 4 points, right? I did not see that. I saw maybe 20, right? But apparently, people can shut him down. And I don't know what's going on. Apparently, Peterson has Metcalf's number. Um, maybe he's the older backs. Yeah, if I was to, because I'm an analyst by day, so tend to see trends. He has a lot of respect for the older cornerbacks, right? Obviously, maybe not Slay. I guess so. I guess that theory is shot in the foot, like Plaxico, rim shot. Bradbury, I mean, doesn't matter the matchup. You know what I'm saying? Because Bradbury, he's been doing great this year. You know what I'm saying? He's been doing exceptional. Metcalf is just in a different category. Is he worth 8-2 on DraftKings for me? I mean, he had 30 last week against Slay, so obviously he can definitely get busy. Am I a fan? At least he's at home. He's not going on the road. I mean, last week against Slay, he got 13 targets. Last time he got 15 against the 49ers, and then he followed that up at Buffalo with 9 targets with 7 receptions for 100. So let me see. Let me calculate 8-2. What does he need? So he needs 26 for value. I mean, if he got 13 targets last week, I am not scared of the matchup. Let me just put that out there. Um, I'm just not a fan. I look for easy paths to value. I don't see it as an easy path, but I see usage. Um, I don't know. I just want to make sure yeah. Let me see. And the thing that I hate too is that Russell, when he scrambles, he just finds whoever's open. And the longer he scrambles and stays in that pocket, he is gonna find his other counterpart, right? What's his name? Tyler the Creator. I call him Tyler the Creator because he just be creating shit. Both of them, they've got this duo that once shit breaks down, right? Like he finds Tyler, for these long bombs, which pisses me off every time I go with Metcalf. But if you want to go with Metcalf, go with Metcalf. You guys enjoy that, because you just never know what you're gonna get. Might be heavy run day, you never know. Okay, um, okay, let's go. Let me see if I can go through all of these and fast forward it. Boy, we're at 17 minutes. Holy shit! Wow, Keenan. Um, he's gonna be. I don't care what people say. He's gonna be matched up against Gilmore, right? Some people say that Belly's probably gonna stick with quarters in his zones. I doubt it, right? Because I don't know when Metcalf came to town. I mean, he put Gilmore. I saw it. It was 80% of the time he had coverage on him. Man, and then I saw Belichick do multiple zone schemes off of it. Sometimes he would try to trick. It's depending on the coverage, right? Where he may play um, a man coverage and then shift in a zone late. But for the most part, it's been single coverage 1-on-1. And I see that with Keenan. I think he's earned. If I was Belichick, I am no fool, right? So, and as a rookie quarterback, you take away his number one target. If I was Belichick and that rookie keeps looking at Keenan Allen as a crutch, I am going to take away that crutch, right? And then who's going to be the next crutch? Austin Eckler. And that's going to be my next discussion, right? Because I see on Line Star that's like a big discussion. And, you know, let's just tackle that when I get to that bad boy, which is not too far down the line, right? But I am not a fan of Keenan Allen this week to hit value. He's at 8-1. Next up, D Hop. DeAndre Hopkins at 7.8 DK. Right, so he's operating. You need about 25 fantasy points for value, right? So, man, you good. I see. All right, so the infamous, right? So I'm on his infamous 12-game up down trend. I have to say this has to be the longest ass up down trend. I've seen some long ones before, but I've never seen some consistent up down trends in my life than this one. Clear and obvious. Up down, up down, up down, left right, A B A B A B. Right. Cheat code. If you want to use the infamous D hot cheat code, by all means, go ahead. Knock yourself out. Um, well, it's not really a cheat code, right? Oh, pause, because um, he was at 10 points last week, which kind of broke that. He could, yeah, it's against the Rams. Price is too high, man. Against the Rams, Jalen, I think Jalen was going to be on him. And, with that quarterback's, shoulder, you know, they're gonna follow. Teams are all about copycats, right? So they're gonna look to see, well, how did Belichick stop him last week? Oh, they took away his run game, right? So I think they're gonna play on the fact that maybe his shoulder still hurt, right? If his shoulder is not hurt, because that's always a possibility where it heals up already, it might be good to go, and he just starts throwing a ton. But I'm not a fan this week. Russell, he's at 7-7. Last 3 weeks, he's been at, 15, 16 fantasy points. Proceed with caution. But he's been doing pretty good, in his prior last two matchups, though it was 2014 and 2017, where he had 24 plus fantasy points. I never bet against Russell, man. So, I mean, if you feeling froggy, I mean, he is not a cash play for me, nor am I feeling lucky to make him a GPP play. If you guys are feeling lucky because you guys just feel that tingle in your loins, hey, go ahead and tingle. Um, I'm good. Um, and you just never know what they're gonna do, right? They're just gonna end up running the ball. Lord have mercy. I'm just good off of that. Nick Chubb a dub dub. Love Nick Chubb. I have him for cash. Great cash play for me against Tennessee. I mean, they're ranked 21st against RB1s. I mean, let me tell you something. Let me tell you guys something. This guy is like a straight up machine, right? Like I said on Line Star, right? He's just a beast. Anybody who can run out of bounds instead of getting a TD and then follows up, in the post game saying, oh, I was just doing what my coach said. Fuck all that, right? Like that's who does that? I was just following what my coach said. Listen, he's gonna be chasing Emmett. Watch, he's gonna be 20 years in the joint, right? Chasing Emmett, right? One TD away from Emmett. And what happens? What happens if he gets injured? He's gonna be looking back like, God damn it, there was that one time I listened to my fucking coach and I ran out of bounds when I could have just gotten that TD. You know, he could have passed him, right? I mean, and he's just gonna be thinking about that one play. But he's just a machine, right? Like he just doesn't care, right? He just does. He's one of those head of the class people that I just hate. Like, just I'm always the back of the class guy, right? He's this head of the class guy. I just do what the teacher, what coach says. Love those guys, love them. But he's just a machine. Last three games straight from injury, 100 plus yards, amazing. I mean, he just doesn't care. He's at 7.7 DK, needs 25 of value. Versus Tennessee, they're 22nd. I'm here. I'm here for cash because I'm convinced. I mean, you go 3 straight games straight off of injury, 100 plus. Yeah, yeah. 19 plus carries, all three. So they're heavy run, even with Hunt, right? And I think Hunt's ankle's banged up. I heard he's definitely good to go. So I mean, and he hasn't been catching lately. I'm pretty sure he's probably going to get some catches every time. I'm playing Chubb. I'm gonna play him and watch what's gonna happen today. It's gonna fuck me over, fuck me raw. No Vaseline, man. Kyler, I'm good. 7-6. I'm not really even thinking twice here. He's been like an anchor. If he does well, God bless him. He's gonna see Jalen and just gonna be like, damn. Let me see if I can go to Christian Kirk. I guess. Is Larry even still in? I don't even know what's going on with COVID, man. COVID is like the 12th man on the field. Flag, ref, AJ. I can just never figure him out. So I'm not even gonna give you guys, the best advice in the world. I just, that guy's just like, I don't know if he had some girlfriend issues or what happened, whatever. His posts are always like cryptic. I don't know. To all the people in my life, I'm sorry. I don't know what's going on with him. But anyway, clearly he was fine last week. Man beast, right? Yards after carry. It's like you tackle him, it's like, I don't know, it's like silk. Like like he's just big body. So you just can't account for, what he does. And God knows the tackling that you're gonna get from Cleveland. And they don't have Mother Nature to help their asses out, right? So you just never know, man. Last year he had 4 targets for 100 yards. That's crazy. So he had 100. So it's the same program. He has 4, 5 targets, right? 3 receptions. So he's getting these long bombs that. So it's possible, right? I just don't like living off long bombs, but because he has a history of that, definitely GPP worthy. Cash play, not an ideal cash play because I just can't see constantly living off a stable floor of 3, 4 receptions a week, right? And 5 targets for 100 yards. Like, who does that? Generally, that's 50, 60. Um, then you got Corey Davis on the other side, who's also a beast. But yeah, and his price went from 6-7 last week from Indy, all of a sudden to 7-6. I'm good. I'm not a huge fan, but like I've seen in the comments and like in online stuff, he is going to be low owned just because of his price, but definitely he can break the slate. He can um, if they keep throwing it to him. I just he has these up down charts every time he's hit 25 or more. You know, he is sunk. So I'm not a big fan there. Next up, boy, it's time flying fast when you're just talking shit. Luck, man. Time flies when you having fun talking football, right? Jeez. And I hate talking, guys. I'm an only child. I don't know what's going on. You know, I'm usually in the room by myself, just looking at books and shit. You know, now that I'm out of my shell, I'm talking my ass off. Early in the morning, I ain't even start yet. Deshaun, 7-5 versus Indy. He had last 2 weeks at 35 plus. Yeah, good luck with that. Um, after the coach just got embarrassed by Henry, yeah, I'm not a big fan. Except one receiver. His name is Brandon Cooks, right? So Brandon Cooks is a cash play for me. Because even though I feel like Watson is gonna have a shitty day himself, he has to throw it to somebody. And with Fuller, being on a 6 game suspension, and got he's done for the year, right? So uh you got QT. You can you can take your gamble. Maybe that Indy's gonna put bracket coverage on Cooks, but Cooks is so fast. The way he runs his intermediate routes. If he just runs a slant, he can easily run away from whatever coverage you're putting on him, and they're not gonna be in bracket coverage every single play. So I think he's just gonna look for those one-on-one coverages and get him. And he's been averaging, with Fuller, 9 targets. But anyway, let's go down. Tyler Lockett, he's at 7-4. Price is so goddamn high, and he's been averaging 11, 12 goddamn points. I'm good. But you never know. The Giants secondary has been known to blow a coverage or two. Um, James, my man James. James Rob, J Rob. I like him, man. I like him. Under the radar. When you first look at his chart, and bland, mediocre, averaging 15 fantasy points. He has his spurts against the Chargers. He had 34. Last week against the Browns, he had 29 fantasy points in a loss. They're on a 11 game losing streak, but he keeps chugging it along. Last week 22 carries. Week before against Pittsburgh, 17 carries. 23 carries against Green Bay. 25 carries against Houston. He's getting a shitload. 22 carries against the Chargers. Right, last week 128 yards. Right. 73 yards against Pittsburgh, 100 yards, 99 yards, 119 against the Chargers. So he's getting a chunk load, right? And the thing that I like that I am looking at is his QB, right? I forgot his name, but let me go to my lines. Glennon is 6'7", and the way how he was finding this guy, where he's getting passes now, right? And that's one thing PPR, DraftKings. I'm all about if you can give me an extra edge, give me that. And look what happened last week. The weeks beforehand, he was averaging maybe 4 or 5 points, right? Last week, 8 points in passing, right? 5 receptions, 5 receptions, 30 yards receptions. So that's a good baseline. And Glennon, he likes to throw, and he's gonna need to throw against Minnesota. So I see James, for cash. So I'm giving away, for my running backs for cash. It would be J Rob and Nick Chubba Dub, right? But if you want to run your own little you know, Cook Henry line, hey, have at it. For the interest of time, we had 31 minutes. That's just great, guys. That's just great. Um, Let me see if I can just fast forward this. I hate just going through Thielen. He's a goal for me for cash just because he's back. Um, Aaron Jones, no for me. That front four Philly's pretty good. Ridley, yeah, Jack Rabbit, Janoris Jenkins, he's on the Saints. Saints been playing lights out. They've been playing, for knowing that Drew Brees is out. Um, it's always an interesting matchup because it's divisional matchup round. Julio, I don't know what's going on with his life, but Ridley's good to go. I think Julio is he in or he's out? Set to return. Man, you just never know what you're gonna get. Gurley is back too. Man, that can be a difference maker because Julio he was kind of his hamstring. You just don't know what you're gonna get. He's a tough guy. He likes to tough it out. I don't know. I like to see shit first before I play it. I don't like to just put people in and just assume. So you know where I'm at with that. So Ridley, he survives the test of time, man. But against the Saints defense, I'm good. I'm good there. Austin Eckler, he's at 7-1. I am on the fence. I am okay on him. I'm not good on him for cash. I'm on the fence for him for GPP. I think he can do good. I no. I'm thinking no, right? Because a lot of people are high on him, right? I am not. Simply because game script, right? So game script determines target flow, right? So just keep that in mind. Targets are everything. He gets the targets. I'm not disputing that. But what comes before that, right, is how the game is run, right? So, and if you look at the Buffalo game script, they they went down in the shoots early, right? I think they was down. Allen just went lights out, right? And he was just so they were already down a couple scores, which required game script, right, to throw the ball. And that's one thing I like about this kid Herbert. He just throws and throws, and you throw. I don't see Cam Newton getting away from anybody this week unless the Chargers defense completely you know fucks shit up, turnovers or whatever. There's always that possibility, but I just don't see that game script, right? I see them trying to run. I see a close game. I don't see the need for him to throw, to dump off. I think Belichick is going to be looking for those dump offs, while keeping the run game in check. I also looked it up. Belichick is only allowed 200-yard rushes all season, right? Jeff Wilson, right? Who's like the third RB on the 49ers. I forgot the other guy, Lindsey, right? Broncos, and two back formation. I just don't see it from Eckler this week at 7-1. He has a decent floor, like I said, 15 for DraftKings, maybe 12, 13. That's not. I just don't see an optimal play here. So, um, but definitely GPP friendly. Um, let's see what we got here. Mike Thomas. Yeah, let's see. I like him just because of the huge usage. I didn't play him just in that kid's first game. Um, I like him. I kind of like him again this week. The Saints are playing well. Obviously, it's a different game plan that they have with this kid under center with Drew Brees out. What's this quarterback's name? God damn it, um, Taysom Hill, right? It's a different kind of game, but I like him. Let's go Kamara. Don't like him, right? He's the third wheel, right, of this relationship. Like I said a couple weeks back, third wheels are never good, right? Because apparently Taysom and Latavius they've had this love relationship, right? But in all seriousness, they look better in the backfield when you have two big ass running backs behind you. I mean, Kamara is just the odd man out, right? So, I mean, imagine lining up at the goal line at the 5, right? You got Taysom's big ass and you got Latavia's big ass behind him, right? You're not going to be thinking, oh, yeah, they're going to pitch it to Kamara, right? Ain't nobody on defense is going to fall for that, right? They're just going to, it's like two Derrick Henrys back there. Just Olay, just take it. Right, just fucking take it, like, because it's unstoppable, and the way how it works, it moves the chains, and I'm thinking that's all Sean Payton cares about, getting to the next game to where Drew Brees can just come back, in it, short intermediate routes to Michael Thomas, and you're good to go. But Kamara, he might get some dump offs, but I just don't see it. Justin, no bueno against Belichick defense. I just don't like it. Just don't like it. I think he's gonna confuse him like Belichick confused Kyler. He's a rookie quarterback. I think he's gonna take away his number one option. Even though I think Herbert knows that. He's gonna take away Keenan Allen. Just assume. I hope they've been how I would have practiced with him this week. I would have practiced as if, hey, Keenan, come sit down here for practice. Let me see how we're going to operate with Mike Williams and Guyton and all of them. Keenan, you sit over here. We're just going to assume he's going to be double, but I don't see them doing that. But I could be wrong. If you guys want to go, God be with you. Godspeed. Justin, Justin Jefferson. I mean, it depends on what game script you see. I think Jacksonville, because they have a better quarterback, they should be able to hang around, right? With Minnesota. You see where I'm going with this, right? Because uh, it takes two to tango. So you have a good offense on the other side that can keep up. That's more points for the Vikings, right? That's more points for Cook. A rising tide lifts all boats. So we need that QB on the other side of Jacksonville to do well. So Cooks, Jefferson, but I like Thielen though. Just because he's been out, out of sight, out of mind. I think all can do well. I just rarely see that, but He's been doing well. He's been doing a bunch of gritties last 3 weeks. But Thielen's back. I think it's going to cut into that a little bit, that chemistry. Thielen is usually highly targeted in the end zone. So, but I like Jefferson. Excuse me. I'm not a fan of his price skyrocketing. I mean, it went from 6, now it's at 6.9. So, I mean, not for cash. GPP maybe. Aaron, cash, absolutely. I have him 66% in my lines, right? 2 of my 3 lines. And I like him against Philly. I like him. I mean, you look at all of his prior matchups. I mean, he loves playing against Philly. Yeah, 26 plus fantasy points. Allen Robinson at 6'7". DK. I like it. I like the usage. Last week he had 27, lit up when Money Mitch came back. Love Money Mitch. Versus a defense that looked shoddy on Thanksgiving, and they're ranked 24th against wide receiver ones. Fuller had a day on Thanksgiving. I remember that because I had Fuller and everybody. McLaurin, he had 18. David Moore? Had 24 points. I'm looking at the last 5 opponents. I always look at that. I look at the news. He's on track to play. 9 hours ago, he's on track to play with his knee. Yeah, I'm gung ho. Mitch has something to prove, right? And Detroit Lions, yeah, yeah, their team is shoddy. He's playing at home, and he's gonna get the usage. You know, I don't mind this at 6'7". His price needs to hold there though. Yeah, when it starts going into the 7 range, but he can do something. I like it. I have him in a couple of lines. Miles can do something here. I just don't have him, just because I'm not playing that many lines. But the Packers are ranked 32nd versus RB1s, right? So, I mean, and considering the fact that he just had 6 carries against a tough Seattle defense, I expect, usually there is a give and pull, right? There's usually they go the other way to try and compensate for that prior week, right? And I see them trying to feed him. I just don't have him. His price is 6'7". Boston Scott is getting looks too. Yeah, yeah. A lot of people are gung ho on him. I mean, yeah, GPP, I guess. A lot of people are calling him a lock. I don't think he's a lock. Nothing's ever a lock with Carson Wentz. You hear me? Nothing. No one on that team. No one is a lock when you have Carson Wentz, right? Talking about lock my ass, man. Julio, 6'6". Okay. Nope. DeAndre, he should be out, right? Yeah, he's doubtful. Yeah, concussion or illness. Kirk, Kirk the flirt. I like him, man. Total underachiever. But I mean, I just like Cooks just because of game script. Maybe don't really need him that much. Him, you just need Cooks and Thielen really you know, if you want to gamble, go with Cousins. Just not optimal for me. Devontae, I don't know who's back right now. Is Tua back? Or is it Fitzy? What's going on? I think Tua is supposed to be back, right? Expected to start. This was an hour ago from Tua. Yeah, I'm good. Devontae's not getting that rock. Where am I? Yeah, so I guess we're going for an hour, right, guys? Yeah, y'all stuck with me for an hour, god damn it, against Cincy Bengals. Yeah, I mean, he could go off. I mean, he had 25 last year, but that was with Fitzy. Yeah. Now that he's had this guy in the lineup, I mean, yeah, I'm good. Two is in the lineup. If I had one line, I'm not playing him. Next up, 6'3". Taysom. He's just been surprising me. I haven't been playing him at all. Because at the goal line, I mean, the fear is you have Latavius and you have him, which is just deadly. But he had 18 last time against them, and he's right back at Atlanta. I mean, you know, it, it's a divisional game, so usually things never typically go the same way twice, right, against a divisional opponent. So that's my only discretion, and I would not go here for cash. But GPP, if you're feeling froggy, Chris Carson versus the Giants. Maybe if Russell can get within goal line, he can pound it in like last week. But I expect the same similar results from last week. 15 points. He's at 6'3". You're not getting ultimate value there. Ryan Tannehill. I can't even pronounce his name. I could never get this guy right either. Because I haven't really been playing him. Um, yeah, yeah. I mean, if you're feeling froggy versus Cleveland defense, no, he could have a game. Just not a fan. If I'm looking at his chart. It doesn't amaze me at all. If you look at his last 6 games, 19, 22, 10, 14, 18, 17, I'm good. Doesn't inspire me. Let me play Tannehill. Jarvis. I like him. Doesn't move me. When you have Baker back there. Desmond King is back there, ranked 5th versus wide receiver ones. Not really for me. Doesn't move me. If I had a line, though, I would get Cooper Cup at 6'1", grab him up. Oh, that rhyme. I'm such a poet. Versus Arizona. Cup and Woods. I mean, I hate playing, 2 receivers on the same team, but you can here if you want to. I just like to pick one or put one in the other line. Just so I can hedge. I like it. I like Cooper. Hanging with Mr. Coop. And because, I like to play bounce backs because he's on an up down trend and because he had a horrible game last week, I think they're gonna try and overcompensate here. I think Goff is just gonna try to set him up. Because these guys in the locker room, they know, quarterbacks know, when their receivers have shitty games and they, I got you. I'm gonna try and get you going early. It's human nature. So I try to play off of that fact in my head a little bit. Doesn't always work, right? So, but let's go next. Darren Waller. My man Darren. Like him. Love him. Um let's go once we get to 6, we're gonna do jet round, right? We're gonna do the jet round because I want to try and fit this podcast YouTube channel into a whole hour for you guys. Um Yeah, Darren, I like him. Versus the Jets, can't go wrong. Versus a team that's 30th, versus tight end ones. Um, I have the Jets defense personally because on DraftKings they're $2,000, right? They're 2.1. You can't go wrong for floor, right? Because 2.1, you need like 4, 5, 6 points for value. I mean, I don't care. If you noticed, I've been living off the Jets defense, for the past 2 weeks, and they've been getting me 9 fantasy points. I am great. That is extra. That's GPP gold, right? And I've seen there's a couple more people that's been catching on. Great. I mean, if they fall off this week, that's fine. What they're gonna get 0. I mean, that's still 4 or 5 points. I mean, it's a good gamble. It's a good gamble with a good floor. Um, yeah, and especially versus Carr, you know, liability for a lot of interceptions. Greg Williams' defense, loves to do a lot of blitzes. You know, and you just never know what you're gonna get from week to week with Derek Carr. Next, Jamal Williams. Just don't. Well, with that little share that they have going with Aaron, he's at 6-1 now. Yeah, I'm good. Price is not matching up. Fitzy, he's not playing, so skip him. Boston Scott, I just don't like him in there. You kind of you're splitting values, because you're not getting full workload. So I just never go there. Philip Rivers, love him versus Houston. You can go there. If at 5'9", if you're looking for that kind of value, Robert Woods, like I said, he's been waxing this team yeah, last year went off, had 20, then had 33 when he uh, when he went out there, right? The year before in 2018 had 28. Yeah, been looking for him. Um, I just like how he's used, right, in the system. Golf uses him to identify between zone and man coverage, right? So, and sometimes you got the jet sweep action at the goal line that he likes to use with him, like, Ben Roethlisberger uses with Claypool, with the little jet sweep. Samuels is the same kind of thing, jet sweep, that these guys are like used as utility weapons as well, right? So that's good. Love him here. I like Cup a little bit more of the rebound. Um, Miles, just not a fan of Miami right now with Tua. But I mean, against a team that's ranked 26th against the run, yeah, not a fan. You know, I don't know. Since he gives up 6% more fantasy points, to running backs when they're away, I mean, that stat doesn't really move me too much. Um, what interests me is that Wayne Gallman on a shitty team still had 18 points. I look for similar tendencies. Gibson, shitty team, still had 17 points. You know, Derrick Henry, he had 20 against Cincy. That's not good. Someone like Derrick Henry. But so it just shows that I mean you can eat here with Miles is set. Yeah, he's set to go. You might get snaps with Patrick Laird. Laird, I've seen him as a third down back. Um, at 5'9", I mean, if you're feeling froggy and you want to go here, I mean, he's probably going to get the touches. Good for him. Latavius, he is the other girlfriend, right? On this three-headed date. Obviously Kamara said he's the odd man out. But now that his price has jumped, well, it's 5'9". It's been consistent 5'9". I don't know. He had that breakaway uh, when they were already up, and when you're up already a multiple touchdowns, I mean, and you're pounding that rock. I mean, that just wears down any defense. I just don't see that game script coming to life again. So I wouldn't go here for GPP, even cash, even Jared Goff at 5'9". I mean, did his okay had a little price dip. I didn't even know his price was 5'3" before. Wow. Yeah, so it dipped from 6 to 5'8". I mean, he always does well against this team. I mean, 27 last year, 28 in the second matchup in week 17. I mean, I'm trying to get the stats for what he had. Man, 5 TDs, 400 yards in one game, over 300 yards in the other game. I mean, it doesn't get any better than that. I mean, if it's this, I may switch around my line to accommodate this. I mean, and offer rebound. I mean, he's been playing very mediocre this year, but versus this team who's ranked 28th, he's clearly not scared of them. I just don't like his picks. But the picks that he's been throwing this year, like you put pressure on him, he's been scared. Cam, Killer Cam. I don't know. I'm not. I haven't been a fan. I don't play him. This is the speed round, right? Because we got 5 minutes. I want to round this out at a minute, at an hour. Derek Carr, hate him, but I mean he could do well. I mean I'm not against it. I have the Jets defense. But you can always play against the Jets defense with Derek Carr if you want to. I'm just, I like having less headaches, right? And Derek Carr is a headache. Duke Johnson is a headache. I'm good. Jonathan Taylor's a headache dealing with that three-headed monster back there, but he could pop against a horrible defense. But just with the splits, you just never know what Philip Rivers is gonna do, man. Um, Stafford, I'm good. With Swift not back there, he's gonna go to his tight end. Play the tight end. You're welcome. Drake, I'm good. Marvin Jones, I would have been good if he wasn't such a douchebag. He's just not throwing to him. Without Swift in there, he's just not getting. He's not getting the recept. I mean, he's getting the targets. Stafford just hasn't been linking up with him. So that's why I am off of him. Matt Ryan, hope he does well. God bless him against the Saints defense. Julio's back, so maybe that can predict the defense. That might help out, but I'm good. He had 7 points last time against him. Wayne Gallman at 5'6". Man, he's been on a tear. Been on a tear. Didn't think he was going to. Yeah, Cincy. Now it's Seattle at Seattle. I am not a fan. That's all I'm saying. I'm not a fan. Brandon Cooks. I'm a fan. I have him in most of my lines. Hope he does me some good. Montgomery. I like him. I like him with Money Mitch back under center. And barring this game script, you just never know. This could be. Let me see the OU. What Vegas is saying on this game script. Oh, 45. So it's a low. It's a low OU. So maybe Vegas is not counting on Stafford doing much or Mitch doing anything. But Mitch has always done well. I'm gonna get to him just now if I can get all the way down there. You guys are getting everything from me, boy. This is great. Yeah. I like Montgomery just because of the passes. I saw Mitch doing a lot of check downs to him, but he was looking to his receivers first. I would give you that. Um, but it for his price point at 5'5" DK, yeah. Jacoby, Cam fell off last couple weeks, man. I mean, I like Jacoby better when he was at 3K. And given Chargers used to be good on defense. I don't know what the hell happened. They fell off a cliff. They're 27th against wide receivers. I just don't trust Cam in this game, but you know, not my thing. D Booker, he's in. He's in for that kid. Because what's his name is out, right? I keep forgetting his name. Line Star had the same problem. What's his other name? Why is his name forgettable? Gosh darn it. Josh Jacobs, that's right. With his ankle, he's ruled out. But he's going to be in the backfield with Rashard. Rashard is good too. But Booker might pop. But let me tell you, as an ex-Jets fan, not against that Jet defense, man. Because they guard against the run pretty well. Unless the Jets' shitty offense turns it over in front the goal line, and then Booker might get an easy run. Like I've seen that happen against a shitty ass offense. Just all these giveaways. But the defense has been pretty solid. Obviously, the secondary is trash. Because you can catch them with some double moves. With that defense. Because it's Greg Williams. It's hunting. It's like hunting season with that guy. So. All right, so but D Books, if you want to play him, I've learned not to fall for the shiny object that comes out midweek. You fall for that shiny object, you're done. So I'm good. Who else we got? Mitch, Money Mitch. I like him. Go ahead. I like him for cash. No, not cash. I like him for GPP. He's a good GPP play. Cash. He's on a cash bubble for me because he's been doing well. Prior matchups, great. Carson Wentz. What more can I say? I've been playing every defense against him for the past 3 weeks. I love playing against him. Love it. He's been apologizing to his team every week. Apparently it was heartfelt this week, so maybe but he's traveling at Green Bay. Maybe might do him some up, but cheat code. I would go with Green Bay again. I have Jets defense. So if you want to go with Green Bay defense, that's awesome too. DJ Chalk at 5'4". Just never know. I think I think the QB. I keep forgetting his name, son. He's always forgettable, son. Like these forgettable ass names. Man, Glennon. It's always with a G. I keep thinking Gronk. I don't know why I keep thinking Gronk. Glennon. Never know, but he's Chalk is the number one, right? So Glennon is gonna want to find the number one, and against Minnesota defense, highly possible. Kareem Hunt, I like him. He's been cleared, right? So he's good to go with that little thigh injury. He hasn't been getting touches, man. Like in terms of passes, you just never know what you're going to get with Baker. But I can see him getting passes this week um, versus this team. Because if you look at Naheem Hines a couple weeks ago, went off against Tennessee, and they're ranked 31st. So this could be a slick DFS move, man. If you want to go Hunt, this could be it. That could be a good move, just based off of that team being able to cover pass catching backs. So I might have to change my line based off of that. Wow, we hit the hour mark, but because I like you guys, let's go. Baker, no. Sterling, maybe. Gurley, no. Hyde, no. Naheem Hines against Houston, yes. Jalen Hurts, no. Aguilar versus Jets secondary, maybe. If you guys want to go there, GPP, I would say no. Christian Kirk at 5'2" DK, man, no. He's been hit, it depends on this kid's shoulder, right? This kid's shoulder blade, whatever you gonna get from this guy. Not against the Rams defense. Gio Bernard, I haven't seen any static on him. Fulgham, no. Harris, I don't know. Maybe. Nah, I'm good. Lazard, yes. For 5K. TJ Hawkinson, yes, at 5K. I like Michael Pittman. Let me tell you the ones I like. Pittman. I like Mike Williams this week. Gilmore defense on Allen. I like Mike Williams. I like Mike Glennon. I like Michael Pittman. All the Mikes. Put them in. Michael Pittman versus Houston defense. Shitty. I'm good. Tyler Boyd, I don't know. Off the cuff of my head, no. Slayton, you would think, right? Against that great defense, but you, who knows what you're gonna get with Colt McCoy? Which is not much. Frank Gore, I like him. If you need a cheap running back in there, you can plug him in. I like him. What else we got here? Let me skip down. Let me skip down to the threes. Yeah. I think I'm gonna have I see dead people podcast because I see dead people. Brashad Perriman, absolutely love him this week. He's at 3.9. Stock fell like a tank, but I don't care. Against Mono Man, Mr. Donald, I like him because he's been even last week. I wanted to see what kind of looks he would get with all receivers healthy. That boy still got 8 targets for 79 yards last week, so that gave me hope especially against this team. I think it could be good to go. LaVisca, I don't know, man. Didn't get tossed to a lot there. Didn't like that. Colin Johnson, a favorite player. If you want a 6-cent sleeper, love this kid. Colin Johnson. Put him in your GPP. He may hit big. We're going to end it on that. Ha ha! I like Colin. I hope he doesn't shit the bed. I don't want to hear from you guys, but I love you guys, man. This is the first little take, on YouTube. I just want to thank you guys so much for just encouraging me to just get this channel. I just hate the IT all set up. If somebody could have just set this whole thing up for me long time ago, I would have been on here. I thank you guys for just all your feedback from Twitter to Line Star World. Apologies to anybody who pissed me off. I hadn't smoked yet. You guys be catching me when I'm sober. But God damn it, I want to see everybody win, man. I want to see everybody, just grab some, free money, man. Especially before basketball season start, because, I got hit, boy, and I want to recoup some money. But if I can teach you guys how to build your bankroll, hey, let's go, man. 25%, 75%. So just remember that. If you don't remember anything else from this, 25% in building your bankroll, 25% cash. I keep messing that up. 25% GPP, 75% cash. You think I know this shit by now after doing this shit for so many years, right? But because I lax in discipline myself. Like there's weeks where I just go off the hinges and I just be like 100% GPP, and that's when I lose all my money, right? But in building, yeah, I can teach you how to build from $5, but ideally you want $30 in. Scared money don't make money, so you're gonna have to put in some money if you want to play head to heads, and going in those rooms. But we're gonna save all of that talk for the next podcast. But I hope you guys like this round. Leave, subscribe, hit the link below. Whatever these guys do on YouTube, I don't know, but leave some comments if you guys like what you guys hear. You guys know what to do, man. Love you guys. Peace out. Cheers.